My name is Anchal, and on behalf of Sanch, I would like to express my immense gratitude to each one of you for being here on a Sunday, investing your precious time on this useful, relevant topic about the importance of sleep and nutrition in our lives, our health and well being, and how often we actually take both these factors in our life for granted. Probably one of the most often neglected component of many people's overall health and well being. We consider ourselves to be super busy, not having the time to sleep, too busy to sleep, right? So much occupied in different activities of our own that we miss to give importance to sleep and nutrition. Most, in fact, our education system, our workplaces these days add to this attitude of ours when we choose to compromise our sleep. So this is why we thought that such an important topic. Most of us know how we do compromise our sleep and nutrition for the other activities in our life. So it is important to discuss this. And a few weeks back, we started with this initiative, CHAT Talk series, where we discuss core topics, introspect on them that positively affect our well-being and the world around us. So the first two sessions of the Chit Chat series were more or less focusing on the importance of self-compassion and dealing with self-care and self-love. Then we moved on to compassion towards others, wherein we talked about social work and extending compassion towards community animals. And today, in chapter 5 of the series, we talk about the importance of sleep and nutrition, its impact on our physical and mental health. And Dr. Kiitty will take us on this beautiful journey of exploring the food sleep connection to create the foundation for a long term health and well being. And based on the expectations that we got from our audience through our Google form, um, you might find that the session talks a little more about sleep because that's what the expectations we received from the audience. So we will touch both the aspects, but maybe we deal a little more deeper into the aspect of sleep. So I'd like to introduce our speaker, Dr. Kiitty Rathod. She is a sleep expert and an integrative health coach. So Dr. Kiitty started her journey with homeopathy, with an emphasis on mental wellness. But her quest into healing led her to learn about counseling, nutrition, yoga, Reiki, and other healing modalities. And through all these holistic approach of understanding the human body and its functioning on an emotional, physical, mental, and psychological level, she has been uplifting and empowering others into this field of health and wellness for more than a decade now. When you talk about rest, she knows what she's talking about. Relaxing and creating pause. This plays a key role in her work, and she truly realized that sleep works at the depth of our conscious and also our subconscious. And that is why she's on a mission now to empower people using sleep as an energetic tool to enhance all aspects of our lives. So, with this, I'll stop here. And before we move on, I would just like to mention a few quick pointers that I would request all of us to be on mute while one person is talking. We might take a break halfway through the session and towards the end of the session to open up the floor for questions. If during the session any thought comes up your mind, any question, please feel free to mention it on the chat. If there is any thought also that's coming to your mind, please mention it on the chat. And you can share your perspectives. And let's all of us be a good listener and respect everyone's perspectives. And maybe if we have the time, we can ask some of you to unmute your mic and then we can discuss your queries. So now I would hand over to Dr. Kiitty. And my first question here, Dr. Kiitty, from you would be that, which is completely related to our title of our session. So, a proper sleep and nutrition positively impacts our health and well being, be it physical or mental. So, what exactly is this food sleep connection? Is there a relationship between nutrition and sleep, and how all of this function to positively impact our well being? Over to you, Dr. Kiitty.
Thank you so much, Achal, for the beautiful introduction. And thank you for everybody who's present out here. Um, how is food and sleep related? Before I talk about how are they related, how about let's start with an exercise as to what really sleep does to you. Okay, why should I talk so much about sleep without really giving you probably a minute or less of an exercise? So I request whoever is present, simply close your eyes and just observe. Keep your eyes closed, just relax yourself and just observe. What are you observing? Observing your state of mind. Observe your breath. Observe how your shoulders, chest, and abdomen are moving. And with every breath that you take in, try to slower, quieten this breath. Go as slow as you can with this breath. Try to keep it as slow as you can. Feeling the expansion of the chest, abdomen. Go as slow as you can. Making sure that even I can't understand that you're breathing. Get out of your mind, get into your breath. And now with me, take a deep breath in, a deep breath out, and hold your breath. Deep breath in, deep breath out, hold your breath. Deep breath in, out, hold your breath. In, out, hold your breath as long as you can till you feel you need to take another breath. The next breath that you take in, make sure it's as slow, as gentle, as peaceful. Having a lot of gratitude to this body, breath, this present moment. Whenever you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Great. So how do you feel, Achal? Like just one word that comes to your mind.
Calm.
Calm, right? So when there is awareness to that pause, to that, what did we do? We just observed or got aware of that pause, right? Sleep is that pause that our body wants. How was your breath? Your breath got more enhanced as you took. So that's what happens first to your body. And when you put something, any nourishment, a food that's really healthy, today everybody knows what's healthy food. But if the body is not ready for the food, even though it's healthy, what's the use of the food? That's the first thing. Second, when you're sleep deprived, we have two appetite. Let's say one hormone that tells your body stop eating when it feels it's enough. And the other one that tells your body give me food. But when you're sleep deprived, both these hormones stop working. Or let's say they work opposite. So you end up eating much more than what you should. Along with that, have you ever observed when you have one night of sleep deprivation, you end up eating more sugary, refined food, because sleep deprivation or sleep loss is a stress to your body. Let's just imagine a plumbing system that's not working well. What's going to happen? Your entire house is going to be flooded, right? Can you survive in that house easily? Not really. So please make sure that you give that foundation of sleep so that the nourishment that really gets inside is beautiful. Along with that, always remember, when your sleep is not cleared or it's not beautiful, you won't even enjoy the meal and you'll end up eating something that's not good. Along with that, you will do more harm to your body because your body is under fight and flight. And for your food to be digested, you need to be in a relaxation state. If you're not relaxed or if you're parasympathetic, your relaxing system is not active, your food won't be doing the work of digestion because the body is going to be fighting because it thinks there is an imaginary tiger. So sleep is that foundation. As we all experience, when we give that pause, that relaxation, your body comes up more recharged. And then when you put in something, it will give you what it wants rather than, putting that nourishment for a stop and working on cleaning.
Exactly, Dr. Kiitty. That's one thing that for some reason we might even understand at our level, but that goes for a miss. And we start giving a priority to other aspects of our life and stop giving this pause, this break that the body needs. So, if you can just when we talk about the nutrition and diet and the different aspects of it, is there something which is a common rule that can be applied to all? Because for me as a person, it is a very deep and extensive topic, and we can move on to it from different angles. But how would you probably just give us a glimpse of how we can ensure that we bring proper attention towards our nutrition?
Right. When we think about nutrition, it's very common for us to think about food and exercise. But for me, I think it's breath. And why do I consider breath as the best nourisher? I think if there is one powerful elixir that we have the control over, it's our breath. And I think Mother Nature has been so amazing in devising everything that works automatically within our body, but it's breath that we have the power. So it's sleep and breath. So breath during the day. So I always say this: breathe slowly during the day, sleep quickly during the night. If these two foundations are set, I think you will enjoy your meal, you will exercise better, your body will function in a balance with nature. Because what are we? We are nature. Today, because we've forgotten how this internal body clock that we have, that is why we are dependent on external aids, whether it's for sleeping, whether it's for food, for give that extra spike, that extra awareness. Today we need something to wake us up, we need something to keep us active. For me, health is when in the morning you wake up energized without the need of something to be put in. Today when you wake up, you should feel fresh, you should feel energized, because sleep is giving you that. In the afternoon, you should be very productive, very, your body needs a lot of movement. And in the night, you should be falling asleep. You shouldn't be depending on these external aids to fall asleep, because sleep is so beautiful. But as I said, breathe slowly, sleep quickly. If that's the foundation, your appetite, your exercise, your balance, everything falls into place. So for me, nutrition is breath, sleep, relationship with yourself. How are you well balanced with nature? Whether it's connecting and living like nature, and then it's food and exercise.
Beautiful. Especially breathe slowly through the day and sleep quickly at night. That is something that should be a takeaway for all of us, that we should keep it in our mind. So, one of the common questions, Dr. Kitty, people have these days is that we are not able to sleep properly. And it is a very disturbed state of mind, and we might wake up anxious at night, or probably are sleeping very late. Of course, there are different reasons to it. There might be different reasons to it, but this is one of the common concerns that have also come through the questions of the audience. Some of them have joined, some of them have not joined, but I still have those questions with me. So maybe I can help them out later. So that is one thing that they want to know is how to get a good sleep. In simple words, if I have to put it, why this anxiety or why this thing which happens, a disturbed state of mind.
So I'll cover both the aspect of anxiety and how to get a good sleep. We need to understand when we think about sleep, we only think about that 1 hour before we go to sleep. As I mentioned, this is a body clock, right? As with nature, there is a sunrise and a sunset. There is a reason nature works so beautifully in a rhythm. We need to work with that rhythm. And when you get out and look at that sun, be in that sunlight, daylight, your body, that's the first quick tip. If anybody wants to have a good night's sleep, you need to understand that in the morning you need to be in that bright light, because at that time, if your melatonin, which is your nighttime hormone, goes down, your beautiful hormone that you need to wake up is very, very active, and body gets that. And once the body gets that, it will get the melatonin completely down to make you completely active. So make sure that there is exposure to this beautiful daylight that we are blessed with, because that will help in your melatonin release in the night, because we have no sunlight in the night. But saying that, even though we have no sunlight in the night, the kind of lifestyle that we lead today, we are constantly surrounded with electronic gadgets, right? Constantly. And that itself triggers huge anxiety. We need to understand that when it's anxiety, it's a thought that is not being addressed. And a lot of us feel that when we go to sleep, we'll just get sleep. But we need to realize that before sleep, your body releases these thoughts in the form of stress, because that's the only time that you give in relaxation to your body. How many other times do you actually give your body relaxation? During the day. So there's no relaxation. You're not even aware of what thoughts are running during the day. Just in the night, those thought comes bombarded. At that time, if you can, it's not just about the night, but during the day, those thoughts that come in, just be aware they are coming for a reason. It's like this child who's asking for attention, but you're not giving it attention. Rather, you're whacking the child saying, go away. So just imagine this is what you do to your thoughts. And electronics play a major role, because today we are sleep procrastinators. We're pushing our sleep more and more. Even though you feel sleepy, you won't go off to sleep because something is very important somewhere in the social media lifestyle that we live today. And that keeps the trigger of melatonin down, because, as I mentioned, as the sun rises, melatonin goes down. Sun starts setting, melatonin rises. But today with these electronics, you're not letting the melatonin rise, because melatonin feels there is still light, I'm not supposed to sleep, and it gives rise to a lot of confusion. So stay away from electronics, please, 1 hour before you sleep and 1 hour after you wake up, because people think it's only about the night. It's very, very important, that crucial 1 hour after you wake up. And have a hot shower. Why hot shower? Because that's the time that you can't take your phone inside that hot shower. Today, a lot of people take their phones even when they, use washroom for various other reasons. But believe me, when you're in that shower, it's difficult to take that phone. Hot shower will cool your body down, calm, and actually enjoy that hot shower. Along with that, because we are not waking up fresh, people have a habit of having a lot of coffee. What is coffee doing? We need to understand that when you consume coffee, even though you've consumed it at, let's say, 6 p.m., and you go to sleep at, say, 11 or 12 p.m., it is still not working well for you because coffee has a half life of 5 hours. What do I mean by that? It takes 5 hours for the coffee, 50% of the coffee to leave your body. 50% is still inside your body. Coffee, or let's say caffeine. When I talk about caffeine, I include coffee and tea because tea also includes caffeine. When you consume that at 5 or 6 p.m., 50% is left, 50% is still inside. What is caffeine? A stimulant. It's not going to let your body go to sleep. And you will think, because we have something called as adenosine. Adenosine is your sleep pressure. You know, you need that sleep pressure to go to sleep. But caffeine blocks that. And what will happen? Even if you try to sleep, you won't get good enough sleep. Please make sure, if you are a coffee, tea lover, try to stop it after 12 a.m., after your midday. And see the difference. I actually tell people, just see that difference for a week. If you're still a high functioning individual, you will function even more optimum because your sleep will give you deep, intense work when you are wakeful that you miss out otherwise. And there are lots of them. I don't know how many others you want me to talk about.
Probably we can take it, I think so, during the course of the next set of questions, there would be more things that will be, getting covered. So I think that is one key example of the food-sleep connection here, caffeine. Because all of us, or most of us, are either coffee lovers or tea lovers. Like even I am a tea lover, so I can say that. So that is quite insightful because that this caffeine blocks our sleep pressure, which is necessary for us to sleep at night. And that is one key takeaway that we should take from the session.
And let me
And
add, because we're talking about caffeine, I don't want to miss another element of food because it's so much about nutrition. We need to understand that before sleeping, wrap up your meals 2 hours before you sleep. Because, like caffeine blocks your sleep pressure, food will not let you sleep because your body will work on digesting that food because that becomes more important for your body and not working on repair. So imagine those hours that you feel you should be sleeping, you aren't really sleeping. And what are you doing? Pushing that energy in digestion and not restoration. And even though you've had that 8 hours of quantity of sleep, you won't feel fresh. And you will feel that bloating, that gurgling, groggy feeling because your body did not get its sleep.
yeah, so for the benefit of the new members who just joined, we did a nice breathing exercise towards the beginning of the session, through which Dr. Kiitty wanted to highlight that the importance of pause is extremely crucial in our lives. So one key point that she mentioned was breathe slowly through the day so that you can sleep quickly at night, which was a very insightful point. Also, that we all have become sleep procrastinators. The importance of electronic gadgets. So 1 hour before, we might have heard it earlier also, but how effectively are we actually implementing it in our lives? When people, Dr. Kiitty, who is a sleep scientist, she is also saying the same thing to us, that we should keep off our electronic gadgets 1 hour before and 1 hour also after waking up. Also because the melatonin levels get affected, because of which we are not able to sleep. And the caffeine, for example, blocks the sleep pressure. So I just wanted to give a quick highlight on what the topics we were talking about till now in the session. And with that, I would like to move to another point, that people have a notion that 8 hours of sleep is essential. So, is there a fixed time duration of sleep that we require, or is it the quantity? Is it the quality? What is this relationship, and what is actually important?
Well, excellent. That's a very beautiful question. So I would even like to just add to that, that as you mentioned, it's not just 1 hour before you sleep, but 1 hour after you wake up. And I can promise you the difference that will do to you is amazing, because that's something that I practice by myself as well. What is a good quantity of sleep? Today, as I said, we have an internal body clock, right? It's just that we all understand the difference between being hungry and eating food for boredom, eating food for pleasure. We all get that. Fast for a day, next day you'll realize how hungry you will feel, right? That's really the hunger that we don't really, look into that, because we're not that aware about our body. When we let our body sleep naturally, as I mentioned, breathe slowly during the day, sleep, you automatically sleep quickly. But let's say, you need to sleep, let's say at 10 p.m. And you are somebody who has a lifestyle who needs to wake up at, let's say, 6 a.m. That's almost good enough, 8 hours of sleep. But your body is not ready, because we think that just because we went on that bed at 10 p.m., it's that. But how many of us actually go to sleep immediately, right? Very few of us. So we need to always understand that don't count those hours, rather focus on the quality. That's the first thing. And once you are truly awake, okay, you will not be dependent so much on the quantity, because like food is getting either food obsessive or food negligent. I don't want people to get obsessed with timing, that these many hours I didn't sleep means something is going to go wrong. Because believe me, when you slept well, quality, your body will naturally wake up. And we've all experienced when we go on a beautiful holiday, when there is no emergency that's waking us up, we wake up so relaxed, because there's no alarm clock that's needed, because we internally have an alarm clock within our body. And believe me, this alarm clock is so wonderful. That's the only alarm clock I use in my life. And it wakes me up before the time that I schedule. So the emphasis should always be on the quality, and quantity will be taken care of. You don't need to worry about it, because your body will wake you up naturally. Scientifically, research says, 8 hours, because we go through 5 phases of different sleep cycles. But for me, I would always say quality. Quantity will be taken care of, because you won't wake up with an alarm clock. You'll wake up with this internal alarm clock. Yes.
This is something that I can very much relate with, that so many times it has happened with me that without the use of the mobile alarm clock or a separate alarm clock, I had to wake up at a certain point of time, for example, around 5:30 a.m. And I just woke up. I don't know how, but I just woke up. And I was like, oh my God, that's like, how did it happen? That probably I, made an affirmation, or like I will wake up now without the use of the alarm clock, and that's how I wake up. But it was not just one day. It has happened quite a few times. And I think what is very important is to continue and be consistent in this practice, not leaving it in between,
Yeah.
which I think
Because
matters.
imagine if you stop breathing, you die. But today, just because we don't know what happens, because you're not sleeping well, we are taking it for granted. And because we're not respecting our body and respecting our sleep, I think sleep is why taking care of us. It's this beautiful parent of ours who's really guarding us, even though we've been, neglecting it. So I think it's high time we take care of this beautiful parent as well.
Yes. So here I have a question, and like, in fact, one of the audience also had this question, that some people have a different, like we talked about the quantity and quality of sleep, and some people sleep for 4 to 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours. It can be different for different people. So does this quantity of sleep also vary as per the age? Like, do we sleep less or more when we are young, or like when we age? Is there a difference? And how do we manage it? Because everyone wants a good night's sleep.
Yes, there is a difference. You might have observed that infants sleep almost 20 hours, right? They just wake up, go to sleep, wake up, because we all know that they are growing. But we forget that even we are growing and we need that sleep. Probably not 20 hours, but 7 or 8 hours of that beautiful sleep. As we start growing, we have something called as, which is what I was talking about, this internal body clock, your circadian rhythm. This rhythm changes. As we grow older, this clock starts shifting. And that's what you'll observe, that an infant from 20 hours, it reduces to 18, 16, and it goes further down. But what I would really like to stress here is, especially about teenagers, that their circadian rhythm moves forward. What do I mean by that? Today, parents have a strict rule for teenagers that they need to sleep at this hour and wake up at this hour. But they have a forward rhythm. If you'll not respect that, and that is why there is a lot of bill, or a lot of things happening in relation to the schools being shifted later, because teenagers don't enjoy that beautiful dream sleep which happens. You enjoy a good quantity of that just before you wake up. Imagine not having that beautiful dream sleep which is like your healer. Today teenagers, that is why, end up with these problems that we see. We think that they are so whatever, but we don't realize that their circadian rhythm pushes them to not sleep early and wanting them to wake up late. So that's very, very important. And as we grow older, I would like to talk a little bit about the older people, the elderly, that as they start growing old, their sleep, any which ways, they lose out on that deep sleep. Deep sleep is your restoration. We have 3 cycles: light, deep, and dream. Deep basically gives this beautiful restoration. If I could put in one word, it's like your blood pressure medicine, the best blood pressure, your heart medicine that you could ever have. And this is what goes a little missing. We need to realize that when we sleep, we are not only releasing toxins from our body, but even toxins from our brain. These toxins accumulate during the day. It's like, we pay the price for the wakefulness that we spend. Sleep is the price that we pay for it. So those toxins will only get released when we enjoy good quantity of sleep for these elderlies. So please make sure the elderlies get good quantity and quality of sleep, because when they don't get them, there's this, very famous Alzheimer's disease that we've heard about, where they have a tendency to forget, right? We need to understand, giving them good quantity. Their circadian rhythm also shifts, but giving them that good quantity, that is why as you start aging, make sure sleep is your priority. Because if the brain has all those dirty, it's a chemical called as beta amyloid. It's this protein that keeps accumulating. If there's too much gulp of this, imagine what's happening to your brain. Unnecessary things getting in, and good stuff is not able to retain. So please make sure that you give good quantity. And this is the first time I'm stressing on quantity, because they don't give it that much importance. They think I sleep less. No, please give them that sleep by creating a beautiful environment around them, because they don't have the work that they used to have, be functioning at. So please make sure that along with your circadian rhythm, the day that you spend, I always say this, your life is the reflection of the way you sleep, and the way you sleep reflects your life. So if you're not getting good quantity and quality of sleep, question your life. What is it that you are doing in your day that is hampering the sleep, rather just bombarding yourself with different aids to sleep better?
Yes, and it's the same thing with my mother also, that probably they just start assuming that it's okay to sleep less, and that's how we have been doing through all these years, and it happens when we age. So this is a very important point to note here, is that for as we age, for our elderlies, quantity and quality both are extremely important. So it's
Not
not just,
exactly age, even for us, but I was just
yes,
stressing for
yes.
aging because of that reason.
Yeah, yes, yes. It's important, like again, to reiterate, quality and quantity is important for all of us, but for elderly, sometimes it is a common notion that it's fine if they're sleeping less. It happens as we age, but that is a myth. So it is important for them, extremely important for them, to get that good night sleep. And another point that Dr. Kiitty mentions is have a look at your day. How are you spending your day? It's not just about the night, it's not just about the external environments, though we will also discuss about them a little bit, that what are the quick tips through which, we can at least start practicing. But it's not just the environment, the external factors, but how we are dealing with our lives and what is happening in our day-to-day lives. So there was a question from Priyanka above, when we were talking about the role of caffeine, that too much amount of caffeine, tea or coffee can disturb our sleep pressure, so we should limit the amount. So where Priyanka had asked that, does hot milk have a similar effect on our sleep or no?
Milk is very controversial, but I'll talk about it. Um, we need to understand one thing, that when we talk about milk, imagine, I'll just talk a little, maybe it's a little different tangent from sleep, but imagine if you are a mother and you as a mother are not able to feed your own child, but are forcefully, supposed to feed another person's child, and your child is left hungry. So just a thought, I'm not going to talk a lot in detail about that. So when you consume a milk product, I would call it, from another species, have you ever heard about somebody who consumes milk from somebody else's species? I think we humans are the only one who take somebody else's, food. That's one aspect, but we need to understand that when it comes to, let's say, almond milk, which is prepared, or your milk that's made at home with the help of nuts, that's wonderful. But having milk like cow's milk, I would not recommend, because that's not the milk that you need to have even during the day. Forget at night, because it's a protein that accumulates, and it can trigger, it's an allergen which can not let you sleep rather than help you sleep. I know it's been all over that you need to have that hot milk, but you need to understand that that's not the milk that your body needs right now, because it's not you don't have those enzymes to digest that milk. It actually curdles up in your body. It's like this cement wall that's building up in your body. Just imagine what starts happening to this beautiful body of yours, and you're just harming it. So I would say not even during the day. I'm not sure if how many are going to be happy hearing that, but I'm basically telling you not to have tea, coffee, milk. But if I can tell you the benefits that you will get out of it, and we need to understand that sleep and respiration is so closely related, because there's so many other issues that come up because of your respiratory breathing difficulties. And milk actually is one of the causative factors. It's a cause that's acting as an allergen, which is not letting you sleep. So I would urge you, please stay away from it. For the environment, for your body, both will say happy, happy.
Okay, that comes as a surprise because all of us are so used to having hot milk, turmeric milk, and
Have your hot
uh,
milk, but just convert it into an almond milk, which is even more healthier. And having nuts in the night, you're basically assisting your sleep. And when I talk about nuts, I mean almonds, walnuts,
yes.
cashew nuts. I don't mean figs, raisins. Those are dry fruits. Nuts will actually assist your sleep because they have that oiling mechanism. And during sleep, you need that oiling, which is the natural oil that your body receives. So it will do more benefit than harm to your body.
Thank you, Dr.
And you won't
Kiitty.
put
That
on weight.
was
I promise you.
that was yeah, it was something new for me, and I have been hearing about this hot milk from since from my grandmother, and then you hear it from your mother, and all it
But
passes
we need
down.
to
But we can
understand.
convert it to
Yeah,
almond milk
but
and
we
get
even need to understand that the way our grandparents, they had the cow in their house. Cow was part of their family, right? Today, the way it is, we all know how things are. It was part of the family. So, they nurtured it, and we need to understand that, we don't need milk. Like cow doesn't have milk to produce milk, right? A mother does not keep having milk to produce her breast milk. There are various forms in which you can get all the nourishment rather. So I would just ask people to think, when you consume something.
Good point for all of us to take away and think on. Yeah. So with this, we have some questions from the audience also. Based on that only, I have a question here. What is sleep hygiene, and what are some quick tips that can help us to sleep better? Because that is one area where I think all of our audience is also keenly interested, and there are different aspects to it. So maybe rather than addressing it towards the end, we can address it here at the moment and discuss some of the important pointers that affect us. Maybe some of the points that we have already spoken about also come here during our discussion, but that will be a good, tips, tricks, sleep hygiene, all of that that helps and it's very useful, very practical.
Okay, I love that somebody actually used the word sleep hygiene because it's a very medical word. So when we talk about sleep hygiene, hygiene simply means keeping yourself nourished, cleansed, right? When we think about sleep, we always think it's a very passive process. If at this present moment I ask you, Achal, what do you think about sleep? What does sleep mean to you? If in one word.
Rest.
Rest. And let's reverse the question. What would your sleep tell me about you? The way you've been treating sleep. If sleep was a person, what would your sleep tell me about you?
Love.
Love
That's
or
what.
happy. Or really happy if sleep feels happy, right? But considering a lot of people have difficulty with sleep, sleep is constantly telling them, stop neglecting me or stop, making me feel so unhappy. We need to understand that we share a relationship with body. We share this beautiful relationship with our sleep. So coming to sleep hygiene, we need at least 1 hour which we are pampering ourselves. How? Sleep, today when we need to wake up and go for our work, we keep ourselves ready. Our clothes might be ready. The stuff that we need for morning, everything is ready. In the similar fashion, as I spoke about hot showers, and we covered a bit, let's just talk. I'll give an analogy using our 5 sensory organs. So let's start with eyes. 1 hour before you sleep, stop artificial lights. As the sun starts setting, we need to work with the environment and start working with that. So you need to dim your lights. You need to make sure that the environment in which you will get in, your bedroom needs to, work with that energy. So make sure that the lights are dim. You need to be in a room which is cooler, which is very important for the element of touch. Cool environment, because one thing is internally with that hot shower you cool down your body temperature. How? When you take that hot shower, heat dissipates to your extremities, so your core body temperature falls down. That's the best sign for your body to receive for you to go to sleep. Any which ways, if you're really going well with your body, you will realize that your body temperature actually goes further down compared to when you observe when you wake up. Because for you to wake up, you need that high body temperature, increase in your body temperature. So we covered touch, we covered eyes, the sight. Third, sense of smell. If I say the word spa, right? The first thing is that sense of smell, relaxation. We need to create that environment in your bedroom. And it may sound like too much work. It's an effort just for a couple of minutes. If you do that every day, you will look forward to going to sleep, because the magic that sleep does, you'll realize when you wake up as you start getting more and more creative. So making sure that there is some beautiful aroma in your room. It could be the smell of a lavender, rose water, anything that you enjoy. Because that also gives a beautiful trigger to your brain, telling your brain, come on, night, sleep. And it'll come very quickly to you rather than you pursuing it. When things come easy to you, you love it rather than you forcefully trying on it. Last is your ears. Now, this is the most important one. During the day, you need to make sure that what you're listening is positive. Let's say, any which ways today, with the whole new world that we are in, there's a constant anxiety and anticipation that comes in. At least during the day, if you get that time, nourish yourself, nourish as much as you can with positive content, not just 1 hour before, but even during the day. And as I always say, pause, take those micro pauses during the day and see your life getting nourished. But make sure before you go to sleep, and I request all of you to please do this, you will see the magic that sleep will create, because the thoughts that you go to sleep with, they multiply for those hours. And sleep takes you into this deep subconscious. Your subconscious actually thanks you because it feels at home. Today you will travel all over the world, but when you come back home, how do you feel? However your home might be, right? You feel at ease, at peace. That's how sleep and your brain will actually thank you. And most importantly, your subconscious mind will thank you for giving your body that sleep. If there's a practice that I do, I always say to my sleep a big, big thank you, because it's doing so much magic. So I inculcate the art of gratitude. Along with that, I say that I'm going to have the most beautiful night's sleep, but I stretch it a bit more further by saying, today I'm going to dream about this. And when that dream, so basically I'm anchoring what I want to create rather than just taking it as a most passive. Because for all the people who are out there wondering about weight, if I tell you that the difference between your sleep and your wakeful life, the number of calories that you burn, the difference is only 140. So sleep is active. There's a lot of internal work that is happening. It's just that we think it's just rest. And rest is passive. But as we started this session, you realize when your breath went slower, your mind went more active, not loose. So these are simple things that you could do. Make sure it's clean, calm energy, and sleep will come naturally to you.
Thank you, Dr. Kiitty. So, eyes, touch, sense of smell, ears, these are such basic aspects that relate to our senses, and all we need to do is pay attention to them. And like you said, something becomes easy when it comes automatically, not when you force it. And that is why I think most of us, we want to sleep. So we lie down and we are constantly, telling ourselves, okay, I want to sleep, I want to sleep, I want to sleep, but we are not able to sleep. So we have lost that sense of pause that you said and patience somewhere, because everything, I think, for me, I pay a lot of importance on patience and perseverance. Consistency also comes in that we have somewhere lost that in our fast paced life, be it in education or be it in workplaces. We are so much used to the deadline, so much used to being running behind different things, which of course many times is we can't control, but then that has come into our habit that we try to force most of the things. Also, when we are just, for like, this is just a very small example, when we are standing in a queue, how many of us are patiently standing in the queue and not wanting to jump ahead in the front and be the first one to in the line. So that's how we are also forcing our sleep, and even when we talk about nutrition, that we want to get healthier, but nothing happens in a day. So we have to put that effort. It's from us. We have to ensure that we live a healthy lifestyle, a healthy day. Like you said, what you do during the day would matter, how you sleep at night. And it's not just something quick that'll happen. It'll happen slowly, and when we practice all these things and we take that pause and use the importance of our breath. So,
Actually, I would just like to add here that when we sleep, you will realize your decision making power is much more effective and quicker. When you've not slept well, so today people think that it's heroic not to work, not to sleep, because they think, oh, I'll achieve more during the day, when I'm awake. But when you sleep well, you'll achieve better because your brain will work quicker, you'll be more focused, and your decision making, you will come up with creative ideas which will help you in your life rather than again, giving that force. So I would say sleep is doing a lot of magic. It's just that we don't realize that it's doing because it's been doing it for so long that today we just feel it's not that great. Actually, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I was on mute, sorry. Yeah, so right now we are actually discussing the questions from the audience as well. So we are not like properly taking a break in between because we are simultaneously addressing the questions from the audience also. So there is a question from Jairam that states, is sleep related to physical strain and mental stress? That is quite a deep, important and deep topic. So, what would be your insights, Dr. Kiitty, to this?
So, sleep, as I mentioned, removes waste from your body, right? Can you imagine having waste, even in your house, dirt in your house? Just imagine what really starts happening with that dirt, in your house. So, first thing is sleep removes all the dirt. And there's so much research today that says that when you have disturbed sleep, it actually elevates your blood sugar. So you actually become a diabetic the day you don't sleep well. The next day, when you actually check yourself, that's the impact that disturbed sleep can have on your heart, on your let's say each and every cell in your body, because sleep is restoring each and every cell. So, and we need to consider our body as a whole and not just as a part. But let me add this, that when you sleep well and you exercise, sleep will first help you in, it's like this performance enhancing drug, if I could say that. Legal performance enhancing drug, because when you sleep, your growth hormone is also increasing. You won't need an artificial or outside hormone to take to induce that. When you have a disturbed sleep, every night it goes clumping down. So you're reducing your growth hormone 10%, 20% as you keep disturbing. When you've not slept well and you exercise, rather than losing the fat, what you lose is your muscle mass. And why does that happen? Because when you're stressed, body latches onto fat. Because fat is this protective layer of your body. Imagine if you've not slept well, body is in fear. What is your body going to do? Latch onto as much fat as it can. And what will it give out? Muscle mass. So if you think sleeping less and exercising more will help you lose weight, no, it'll do just the opposite, because what you will lose is muscle and not fat. And as I mentioned about food, you'll eat more sugary, refined food that's doing more damage to you than doing well. So, and today, whether it's Roger Federer, he's an amazing sportsman, that he's a lawn tennis player who I love and adore. He talks about sleep and he actually has 12 hours of sleep. You can imagine when it comes to Usain Bolt, like these are all amazing athletes doing amazingly well. I'm just mentioning them because these high functioning athletes take immense pleasure in enjoying good quantity of sleep, and they talk about it because they know that when they sleep well, they will function better. And they've actually broken records because, and they mention it. So imagine, why can't we do that? So let's use that power of sleep to enhance not just our mental well-being, but even our physical well-being.
So, Sagar from the audience puts it as the priority should be sleep and diet and then exercise, right? So, what do you have to say to that?
Priority should be start listening to your body. Once you start listening to your body, everything starts flowing. Today we have compartmentalized our life. Have you seen? Our heart does not stop because your lungs are functioning. And we don't, do something else and stop. If your body works in such a beautiful union, we need to just start respecting it. What I'm trying to say is, if the foundation is beautiful, everything else comes into play. So I would say first breath, then sleep, then, I would say relationships that you share with yourself, and with others. Even if you're having a healthy food, the most organic that you can, but you've had a fight with somebody, how will you have that meal? So the most important is the relationship that you share with yourself, with nature, with others. That plays the most important role, and then automatically you will enjoy your meal. You will have a good exercise routine. So you won't need one, you will automatically have all. So I would not say just do this, because we need movement from head to toe. We need to exercise everything, not just our biceps or triceps.
True, very true. Priyanka here says that this is similar to the concept of eating less and trying to lose weight. And Kalyani says, yeah, I have noticed that weight management gets it million times tougher with lack of proper sleep. Very relatable. True, true.
And we need to understand that weight is always a lot more here. And when I treat people with weight, I always tell them, I'm not going to help you lose weight. If your body is latching onto that fat, it's because it's in fight, it's in fear. Imagine if there is a tiger outside, your body will not work on nourishing, your body will work on survival. In the similar fashion, today we have an imaginary tiger, those imaginary anticipatory thoughts, right? We are either in past or future. If you're truly living in present, you won't be bogged down. And if we start releasing from, our mind, whatever is, curbing you, believe me, you will start losing weight. Because when people come to me, I tell them, I'm not going to help you lose weight. The weight will release on its own. I'm not going to do anything. Only thing is, you need to start working on releasing those thoughts that we hold on to about other people, about even ourselves. Just be kind and gentle to yourself.
Yes, kind and gentle to ourselves and others, compassion to ourselves and others. That is something we have been, focusing through our entire talk series also, and most of our conversation, that being kind and compassionate to ourselves and others is so important, and it affects different aspects of our lives. It is not just a fancy thing or something related to morale. It is something that actually affects different aspects of our life. So Priyanka has a question here, Dr. Kiitty, that she here asks about why does snoring and sleep apnea happen, and what can be done to prevent it?
Excellent. So when we think about snoring, it's a very good point to talk now about exercise right now. Because when we think about exercise, as I mentioned, we only think about, let's say, our biceps, triceps, our core, our hamstrings, those specific muscles. We have muscles everywhere in our body. When we suffer from constipation, it's a muscle disorder. It's not just food related disorder. We need to understand everything is a muscle. So when we think about snoring, what is snoring, right? It's something which is present, let's say, behind your throat. We have something called as uvula, which gets overly relaxed. When it's overly relaxed, because how many times do we engage our tongue in the right quantity, right? How many times do we really exercise our tongue? We are constantly talking. So there are exercises which I won't be able to show in this, but probably, create a YouTube video and show it to you, because it's a little funny. But if there is something very, very simple, first thing we need to understand, we need to breathe through our nose. Nasal breathing and not mouth breathing. We use our mouth to breathe, you realize you create more dryness and you're not assisting your body. First step, nasal breathing, slow breath, as I mentioned. Stay away from allergens, because when there is a lot of nasal congestion or nasal sinuses are blocked, it ultimately has to pass through your throat, and that creates like a block and creates that trigger again of that sound of snoring. Second, what you could very, very easily do is stay away from milk and wheat. I'm saying it easy with a swine, because these are again allergens. And you could try this for a week, try this for a week and see what difference it really, really makes. Try keeping, yourself, let's say, around nature. Because what's really happening is when you're not breathing through your nose, you're again obstructing, creating that mouth breathing and not doing that right method of breathing. And in yoga, we have these beautiful, breathing exercises. Two of them, one is called as Ujjayi breathing. If I'll create probably a video on that as well, but Ujjayi breathing and Anulom Vilom along with Kapalbhati. These three things work like magic because when you're actually, what is Ujjayi breathing? You're using your glottis, you're using these muscles. Okay, engage these muscles with your daily routine, not just before you go to sleep. We need to understand in the morning, in the evening, and in the night before you go to sleep. Believe me, in a week, your snoring will come down immensely without the need of an external CPAP or anything else. Make sure you start using your nose to breathe and see the magic, and use your throat to exercise. Do those tongue exercises, do those Ujjayi breaths, Kapalbhati, because you realize there's a lot of engagement happening here. Do simple exercises of neck stretches. All this will aid into your entire practice because we need to understand body is whole. Don't just work here. We need to even think about your nasal areas. So if you have a blocked nose, early in the morning, take steam inhalation, not in the night. Okay? Early in the morning, if you take it in the night, you'll end up blocking them more. So make sure early in the morning, open them up. We have, again, I'll touch upon yoga here because I do all of that. Something called as DrKiitty, right? Nose is actually considered one of the cleanest area in your body. I know we have a lot of mucus, but it's a filter that makes sure that everything that gets inside is filtered. To take care of this, the gatekeepers of your body, as my teacher told me once, these gatekeepers are cleansed, everything else is kept beautifully. Just do any of these and see how magically snoring says goodbye to you.
Thank you, Dr. Kiitty. It makes me so happy when I hear this from, the doctor herself, the sleep scientist. She also focuses on the importance of yoga and the yogic breathing, pranayama techniques. So we have been practicing this in our in the yoga classes that I conduct, and Priyanka also has been. So probably I'll be asking her now that, did you find any difference after practicing this for a few weeks? And really that such routine exercises and things that we can do in our day-to-day lives can be very helpful. Dalniti is one important thing, and I guess we can have a separate session on that. Maybe we can think about it, how to conduct, because I had been thinking also as a part of the yoga session how you can demonstrate it, because it's very helpful and it has personally helped me a lot, because I used to get cold and cough very easily if I talk about few months or years back. But after practicing this yoga, of course, I've been practicing for a while now, but also Jal Niti, it actually cleanses all your mucus. And there are few more exercises related to your facial, the yogic facial massage that also helps to cleanse your mucus glands, so the sinuses. So that is again one important take, especially from the aspect of snoring and sleep apnea, because Pranka happens to be my friend from college, so I know her concerns and how we have been discussing about that. So I there is a question from Tarishi. She says, she says, yes, I've realized that unconsciously breathe through the mouth. Can this be controlled? Like if we are unconsciously breathing through our mouth at times. Especially, yes, I have also noticed that while on a bus journey, automatically my mouth opens up and someone takes a picture of me breathing like that. So, yeah, can that be controlled?
Yes, absolutely, it can be, and we need to understand that we are supposed to breathe through our nose, and you must, if you remember, in the institute also I teach. The first system is the respiratory system, and it's very very important for us to breathe through our nose. As I mentioned, first we need to be aware as to is there an allergen that's creating that block. And there is this one exercise that you could do is, take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out, and close both your nostrils. Just literally pinch both your nostrils with your fingers. Hold on to that breath till you feel, you can, and release. Take that, you could do that for 6 minutes. Every minute, do that once and start doing normal breathing. But this is just the treatment on that. But we need to address, is there an allergen? Is there a polyp? Even if all that exists, try using your nose to breathe. Stop using your mouth. Literally, I tell my patients to put a tape here. Literally, because once you actually put that tape, you become nasal breathers rather than mouth breathers. And the benefits that you get out of is amazing. So just try something as simple. As I mentioned, DrKiitty is amazing, which Achal and I can vouch for. But along with that, simple breathing exercises, because anything that's accumulating in your body, I always say this, if there is a polyp or there is a fibroid or there is anything that's accumulating, it's your energy that's creating that. Start releasing, everything starts functioning better. And when I do my DrKiitty practice, which is a releasing technique again, for me, I always do everything with the mindset. When I do a physical practice, you need to make sure what is the intention behind the practice. Release something. You will feel much more calmer during the practice when you're doing it and not just, as a physical domain.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kiitty, for that. I think it would be really very helpful, like you were saying, if you are planning to create some, YouTube videos about these exercises in future, then we can also share it with our audience separately and as well as on our social media pages. And you can actually refer to, yes.
I think that was just a joke.
I was just about to say to our audience, Dr. Kiitty has a beautiful YouTube channel, so you can check out her channel. She shares some really good, insights and tips related to our sleep, and also some exercises, some meditation, body scanning, meditation, so different things. And she has a beautiful, calming voice. So that actually adds to all the positivity and relaxation. So you can definitely try that out. Okay, Sagar, sure, we would like to, share more knowledge on DrKiitty as well. And one thought I had, what is this power nap, Dr. Kiitty? Like, this is something that has been, there was a question also with respect to that. So is it very important, or is it okay? And also when we talk about power nap, which should be, I think, smaller duration, what about when a person sleeps a lot in the afternoon, or even in the afternoon and also in the night? So there was this discussion in our last session that is oversleeping bad. Like, if I can sleep all the time, is that okay? Yeah, Devika is nodding her head.
See, we need to understand, just like food, even if it's healthy food, if it's overly done, imagine what's going to happen. Even today, when we drink water, we drink too much water, we are actually giving our heart too much pressure to work with. So when it comes to sleep, if you feel your sleep is, not enough and you need too much of that sleep, means your body is actually asking for some repair time. So if it's asking, just if it's an instant just happening, give it. No, what's the problem if you give your body that sleep if it's just very occasional? But otherwise, what I would really tell you to do is, start, let's say, today the way we function, we need that power nap. And why do we need that power nap? Because as I said, we're not very little aware of what's happening. What are the thoughts that are going on? What's really happening? So even in that power nap, if you don't get that sleep, because a lot of people complain that 20 minutes, it's very difficult for me to fall asleep. Even if you're not sleeping, just relax yourself. Create that awareness, because that 20 minutes will actually charge you up much more, and you will come up with, as sleep can give you that quick decision making, power nap can also do that same. But imagine in 20 minutes, you gain so much insight. So please make sure that power nap is 20 minutes or it's for at least 1.5 hours, not in between. And we need to understand that actually we as human were not somebody who was supposed to sleep only once. We were supposed to sleep twice in a day. We were supposed to have that good quantity of afternoon and night sleep, but because everything has shifted, we can't do that, at least enjoy that night's sleep together. But make sure if you can't give the 20 minutes, at least give those micro pauses during the day. 1 minute every hour, you know.
Devika says that I took a great power nap just before this session started. Felt so energized afterwards. Great, Devika. So, Priyanka has a question here. She says, is it advisable to do vigorous exercise 1 to 2 hours before sleeping?
No, as I mentioned, before sleeping, your body needs to cool down. And if you do, very intensive exercises, your body will heat up. And we all know that because we start sweating. Sweating is a mechanism that the body is trying to cool down. So I would not advise, before sleeping, probably 2 hours. But, if we have a body clock, the ideal time, I may break a lot of myths again, is around 5 to 6 p.m. It's the perfect time for your body to exercise because how we think of circadian rhythm, we only think of sleep. Even every cell in our body has a circadian rhythm, like our liver has a rhythm. So your muscles' best rhythm, your peak performance comes at 5 to 6 p.m. rather than, late in the night because your body is not ready. Your muscles are not going to give you what you really need. Imagine if I tell you to sleep at night and you'll be like, no, I want to sleep in the day. It's not going to give you the benefit. Today, a lot of people enjoy that 8 hours of sleep, but they sleep at 4 a.m. and they wake up at 12 p.m. Right? That's 12 a.m. I'm sorry. That's not going to do anything good because from your dream sleep, you go into your deep sleep. It's reversal of your sleep. So it's not doing well for your body. So we need to understand, that's why I always say listen to your body. Your body actually has all the answers. You don't need to look for an outside doctor. This beautiful, healer is inside. If you actually look inside, you will get all your answers. So when it comes to exercise, not at all, not vigorous. Yes, a simple stretch, you could do. I actually encourage my students and my patients to do stretching before you sleep because your body needs that space. Before you sleep and even after you wake up, give those stretches to your body. That's beautiful.
Yes, so we have around 10 to 12 minutes for the session to close. So I would really want you, Dr. Kiitty, to talk a little about the dreams
Yeah.
and the dream sleep. Before that, just taking Kalyani's question here. She says that I have tried a power nap, but often I'm so scared that I might oversleep and miss out on an important appointment. So, doctor, could you share a short tip on making the power nap an actual power nap? So basically, you are scared for something to come up and you're not able to, get that power nap feeling.
As I say for sleep, if you'll actually talk to your body, when I use these words, some people say, really? Yeah, that's the most important relationship that you share. We don't just share relationship with people, we even share relationship with this amazing body that we have. And that's the most important relationship. So that's one thing. As I had mentioned last time that, if you have a flight to catch, you will know. You will wake up much before than your alarm clock. But if for your power nap, you could keep an alarm clock because you're not really going into your deep sleep. To enjoy it, you're still in your light sleep, and from there, if there is a sound that wakes you up, it's much better. But you will start realizing, keep that alarm clock. But before that alarm clock, let's say keep that alarm clock set for 25 minutes, sleep for 20 minutes or take that nap for 20 minutes. Talk to your body. Tell yourself that I'm going to sleep for 20 minutes of beautiful relaxation. You will realize that the dependency on the external will again stop and you wake up automatically. Or you could listen to like a good 20 minutes of, good relaxation that's available, which will help you a lot because you will actually not really sleep, but, relax your body. And that's what power nap actually is doing. You're only in that light sleep, enjoying relaxation. So you could call somebody to wake you up, in 20 minutes for just as a start.
Like Dr. Kiitty puts it, as a piece of puzzle all of these different aspects of sleep. And that's this puzzle she has culminated into a journey of sleep empowerment, which she calls the sunshine sleep. So that's one, as soon as I see Dr. Kiitty, I remember sunshine, of course, the sunshine soul and the sunshine sleep. So, any just few thoughts on sunshine sleep, Dr. Kiitty, and then a little about dreams. And with that, we will close our session. If we have any further questions, maybe I can pass it on to Dr. Kiitty later. So you can either message her or message us at Sanj or mention it on the chat itself now, and giving the platform to Dr. Kiitty back again, where she can talk a little about this beautiful experience, because that takes me into a different zone altogether. So let us just, listen to this, and ending the session on a very positive and very enlightening. The whole session was very positive and very useful and relevant for us. And this is something which goes on a different level, actually, how she takes this further into this. So yes, Dr. Kiitty, please go ahead.
So why do I call sleep sunshine sleep? Because as our planet Earth receives this beautiful sun energy, we also, are receiving this beautiful light from our sleep. So sleep is actually this beautiful sunshine. But another reason for that is when we think of sleep, we just think of, a moon energy. But during the day, when you get out in that sun, it's actually telling your melatonin to go down. So when you actually think of sleep, I want people to think that get out in the daylight, expose yourself in the daylight to enjoy this beautiful sleep. And there's a lot more, but since I want to talk about dreams, I'll touch on dreams. Dreams are like your healers. Okay, today I actually keep a dream journal, and the aspects of my life that helps me with this dream journaling is so beautiful. But why I'm stressing so much on dreams is before you wake up, you enjoy a good quantity of dream sleep. As I said, we shuffle between different sleep cycles. When you're dreaming, you'll realize most of the time it's about your daily routine that you'll dream about. Whatever happens during the day, that shows up in your dream. But if there is something which was a little difficult, for you to understand during the day, it could be a fight, it could be a conflict, it could be an emotion that you were not able to handle. When you actually dream, you actually will feel that when you wake up feeling much more better than the state of mind that you were, because your sleep and your dream state actually did this beautiful energy. And I'll quote from this amazing book, Autobiography of the Yogi, where he actually mentions that when you dream, you touch on a very beautiful astral plane. So when you are sleeping, as I mentioned, your subconscious is at home. But imagine your soul actually goes, at an up level state of consciousness. You're no more on this physical plane. You're on an amazing astral plane. And that is why, dreams are beautiful communicators. They communicate to you what's happening. They help you release any unsorted emotion. So they are like this amazing healers. But as I always say, your emotions actually bleed into your dreams. So make sure you let them out. If you're not able to let them out during the day, at least sleep well. Make sure, because you need to understand that this dream sleep happens when we use that alarm clock, when we use it to wake us up suddenly, when outside environment becomes more important than this internal environment. So dreams are amazing. You may remember them, you may not remember them. That's not important. But believe me, as I started journaling my dreams, I remember all my dreams and I get a lot of dreams. So, as it says, where attention goes, energy goes. Today, I'm so attentive about it, I'm aware, and that is why this dream actually comes up in amazing forms to me, and it gives me a beautiful culmination of what's really happening. So, please dream. If you dream like, I'm a dreamer, if you have amazing dreams that you want to achieve in your wakeful life, please make sure that you sleep and go to dream and fulfill all your dreams and dream big. Dream amazing things in life. and see the magic that'll happen.
How beautiful is that? And such a nice note to actually close our session on. Before that, I would like to just mention the question of, yeah, sorry, I just missed this question. Yeah. So Pranka here says, could you suggest where we can read more about dreams and astral travel? If you have any
Oh,
suggestions on that.
I won't say ask, but as I quoted this book, this was just like a statement that was mentioned in the book. But if you're really looking for it, maybe you find it. As they say, if you look for something from your heart, you get it. So I haven't really got anything that which has been in detail. This is an experience that I've had, and somebody very amazing, like a book like Autobiography of a Yogi mentions it. It just makes you feel so amazing that what you actually go through is something like right out there. So I'm sorry, but I'm not aware about it.
That's an amazing book to read, The Autobiography of a Yogi. We have heard about it. I have read it halfway. Honestly, I haven't completed it. I would be honest here, but I really want to finish it because it takes you to such, deeper levels of different aspects of life. Maybe we can't talk about it here at the moment, but just, impressing on the fact that, yeah, it's a beautiful book. And Pranka, maybe,
Before sleeping, I would
yeah.
highly recommend reading this book before sleeping. I forgot to mention when it comes to eyes, listen to a podcast, listen to something, ears, eyes. Read this book before sleeping, read amazing content before sleeping. It's actually going to do good to you, because imagine sleeping with these high energy thoughts, it's going to do magic, you know.
Thank you. Yes, I think Jyoti had mentioned this point earlier that reading a book is really very helpful, before sleeping. I remember we used to do it quite often. Now, after the gadgets and all office-related work, it has got a little difficult, but it was a common thing to do, just reading a book and then just maybe it was a book related to our school also, and just reading it and then
Yeah, because
sleeping.
you've forgotten stories. Today, if I were to tell you, let me tell you a story, everybody would actually come like this. The minute you say once upon a time, today I have like toddlers at my home, and when I see my sister sing that lullaby, she creates her own lullabies, for her. It's so beautiful because we've forgotten that we also need that. We need these beautiful lullabies. Those lullabies could be anything that you connect to. So please make sure include amazing, powerful stories, amazing lullabies in your life to sleep, because we are still that beautiful soul who enjoys all this. We've just grown physically, but we are still that soul within this body.
Yes, the soul needs to grow as well, and it
So
keeps
that's
growing.
one magic that helps me sleep. I'm sorry, but that's one magic. I listen to my sister sing and I'm gone. Before the baby, I'm gone off to sleep.
That's so nice. Like, yeah, I can understand being listening to whenever I'm with my nephew and listening to his stories, and I'll be like, like, of course, I would be very interested, and then it, of course, takes you to a different level, and then you go off to sleep. That's why kids are so used to hearing bedtime stories, also. That was something that has been there since long. So yeah, we are almost at 6:30. So thank you so much, Dr. Kitty, for such an amazing session. Very positive, very calm, so insightful. We will be noting down all the discussions that we have had, probably in a concise manner, maybe in the form of a blog or some stories, and we'll be sharing through our handles as well. Because we discussed different topics, right from focusing on the importance of our breath, the importance of pause in our life, the importance of yogic breathing techniques, the importance of our day-to-day activities, like, what we are and what we do during the day actually impacts our sleep. And Dr. Kitty mentioned about the environment as well, the senses, like how you can stop artificial, lights from the gadgets, and the sense of smell, the what you can read, what you can hear, different aspects. These are very practical and simple things that we can, take into account that helps us sleep. and obviously, being very aware of our day-to-day dealings with people and in our relationships. If, like Dr. Kiitty gave an example, if you would have had a very nice food, very nutritious food, and you really want to sleep on time, but then you maybe had a fight with someone close to you, then would you be able to do that? You know, so there are different aspects to it, and that's what we need to focus on. All of them. Be consistent, be aware, be mindful, and keep smiling like Dr. Kiitty is smiling at the moment and spread that vibe. Like I was telling you, you can check out her videos. She's trying her level best to spread that positivity and happiness, because we know all of us have our own set of sufferings, our own set of challenges. Each one of us has, not belittling that, but then all of us have that responsibility to share that happiness, that positivity, something that we can help others, anything from our like our capacity, whatever we can do, we can try our level best, and these small things add up and make a difference. Never think that you're too small to bring an impact. You can do it. So yes, with that we close our session. Thank you, audience, for being here. My immense thanks and gratitude to all of us. And thank you, Dr. Kiitty, for always being so supportive and so, spreading that knowledge and awareness and that calm.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Achal. Compassionate coach, as I call you.
That means a lot to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your presence. Be connected for our further sessions.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.